And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second series of the broadcast, our second best of three. We just wrapped up with our first matchup here, and Geralt is waiting for the winner of this very series in the winners match, and we're about to find out who will face off against Geralt. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the blue Polish Protoss player, the Platinum Heroes Protoss, the blue Protoss. It is ArT. Not to be confused with the other ArT that also was on Platinum Heroes for a time. But here we go. Spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the best Terran player in all of Poland, representing ROC Esports. It is Spirit. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is? It is a Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our best of three TVP. Coming into this, Spirit is going to be the favorite player, similar to Geralt previously, but I can 100% see a world where ArT can take a map and maybe even take a series as well, bearing in mind this is a best of three, not a best of five, so upsets, they can occur a little bit more frequently in these shorter series, so we'll see if ArT can bring it to Spirit. Let's go. Also, Shema, shout out to Kashim in the chat. Shema, papi Shema. Likewise, I see Jumi in the chat as well. Jumi, aye. I do apologize for not going live earlier. I was feeling a little bit under the weather today. So for those that are curious, on our schedule, we were going to be casting the Fusion Esports League global qualifier for the Cracov event. It was the third qualifier. We casted qualifier 1, we casted qualifier 2, and we were going to cast qualifier number 3 as well, but I wasn't really feeling 200%, so I was resting instead, and just to make sure that I was at 100% for this event for Group B. For Group B, again, it was going to be a back-to-back broadcast of Fusion Esports League, one straight into the other, and we're at least here for the group stage. Here able to cover the group stage, but I do apologize for not covering qualifier number 3, especially because I saw that Jimmy did quite well in it. In said qualifier, made it all the way to the best of 5 qualifying match, where it went all the way to the ace match as well. A lot of PvPs there. I did notice a lot of PvPs. Here we go. From here, though, we are getting into our initial openers. It was a Rax Expand, Economic Start into a Delayed Factory, so Economic Start here by Spirit. Meanwhile, back at home, going for a Twilight Council opener. It's been a while since we've casted ArT. Like, ArT, he was a very active player a couple of years ago. Like, I'm referring to 2020 and 2021. Like, ArT, he was, I would say, on the rise. Like, he was one of the up-and-comers in Europe that I was definitely paying more attention to, more so than Cristiano, more so than Geralt, like in the early COVID days. But ArT, after devoting a lot of time to StarCraft, he kind of took a bit of a step back in recent years and has been less active, competing in less tournaments, and again, we have just seen less of him over the past couple of years. ArT, he spent some time in Korea. Again, that was also back in around 2020-ish era of StarCraft. He was in Korea. We'll see what he can bring to the table. So far, throwing down additional gateways here, getting up to a 3-gate blink setup. 3-gate blink stalker. I saw some people in the chat asking about Papi. If you are not too familiar with the European scene and the Polish scene, then you might not be familiar with certain players like Papi, players like Rodzin, players like Ziomek, for example. Just because a lot of them, they mainly do compete in regional events. I say that Papi, he often did, especially in years past, he did compete in other like online tournaments and online like European-centric events. But in recent times, you know, he took a bit of a step back. He's been less active. We did mention that at the start of the broadcast. How he's been less active. ArT as well has also been less active as of late, compared to previous years. Meanwhile, Spirit opening up with a mine drop. It is spotted. ArT is moving in for the interception. And, oh, Spirit, he does boost away. Thankfully, he does boost away. Does get the hell out of there. Blink is not yet done. But so far, ArT, he does maintain map control. Oh, catching out the Reaper. Reaper is getting caught out. Este pecoeta. You're an animal, Papi. You're an animal. SMH, my head. You're an animal. Spirit, he is still trying to be active with said drop. Behind this, working towards his own 3-1-1 setup. Stim is on the way, combat shields, no Banshee play. The hallucination does confirm that as well. There's no Banshees, there's no early Cyclone, there's no early drop play outside of this mine drop. So pretty passive start here by Spirit, pretty standard, building up his biotank. And ArT is able to comfortably get into his own third. Now going for his own gateway explosion, charges on the way, working towards Storm, working towards eventual Archons, but mainly Storm. That's going to be a splash damage of choice. Currently in the meta of SE2, it is more stylistic to go into Storm or go into Colossus. I will say that like maybe a month, 2 months ago, it was very trendy to go into Storm, but in recent weeks, we have seen a lot of the top Protoss players step away from Storm and go into Colossus. The reasoning for this is because Terran players got used to rushing into earlier EMPs and earlier Ghost production. Like, the meta has been kind of like shifting. PvT especially has not been the most stable meta, I should say, just because it's been shifting quite a lot over the past 6 months. But here we go. Spirit moving in. It's spotted. ArT's going to be able to slow him down. Picks up a couple of Marines. Marines going to be going down, but Spirit, he does not back up. He does reinforce. He's pushing in. He wants that third, and Storm is not ready. Yeah, Storm is barely not ready in time, and without Storm, there's no way to hold. There's no way to defend. Force morph in the Archon. And again, he needed a couple more seconds. Storm finishing up in 5 seconds, but he has no High Templar. Morphed in the Archon. No. Yeah, he morphed in the Archon, so 0 Storm. With that, the base is going to fall. Takes down the third, and that's all the Spirit wanted. And you can see here, ArT breaks out, but too little too late. And too little too late, the damage has been done. Spirit, he gets the hell out of there. And ArT takes a massive loss. Ay. Takes out one of the medevacs. Does chase down Spirit. Does force him back. Third base on the way. And from here, Spirit, he has a pretty massive lead. He's got his own third base. Now he's taking up in towards Ghost. There's that Ghost Academy, in towards EMPs. So Spirit, he's up in bases, up in economy, up in production. And right now the pressure's on ArT. Now he can still pull off a comeback here, but there's a lot of pressure on him. He has to commit quite hard. If he can land some storms, if he can take a fight, then maybe he can break the third. But ArT's pushing. He's moving out. He's got 3 storms, 3 ArT Templar. Warping in a couple more. Takes down the initial Widow Mine. No tanks behind this, but there are 4 Widow Mines. They are setting up. And again, it comes down to the storms. Speaking of, very nice. First storm does connect. Second storm, ooh, graces the army. Not ideal. But it's got 2 more storms. Ghosts are on the way. Storm and Marauders, they can tank it. 1 storm left for the main army. More High Templar warping in. Ooh, EMP goes off. Yeah, now we commit. Yeah, now Spirit, he does step forward. Takes down the High Templar. Trades with the army. Another EMP connects. Yeah, and without the Archons, they just crumble. They go down one after the other. As Spirit, he holds, he defends. I mean, again, ArT, he had to break through. He had to take the fight. And this is just a rough position for ArT. He's getting further behind. Just now claiming his 4th base. And again, the reason why Spirit has such a massive supply disparity here and such a massive supply lead is because of the earlier loss of the third. Like, to lose a base and to lose an entire base mining that early on was brutal. And that's why ArT was pretty all in there. Like, he had to break one of these bases and had to get into the economy, had to get into a mineral line. As Spirit's moving in, we have Imprisonment to the main. Oof, EMP connects. Snipes High Templar. And Spirit, he just sims in. Yeah, he just sims in, takes down the main army. Zellstep popping off in the main base, but GG gets called. There's nothing to defend, and Spirit, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Spirit, he will take a lead in the series. Oh, did I... Uh-oh. Do apologize. I was lost in thought and I didn't quite open up the predictions. my apologies, my apologies. It's always difficult to time that, just because for those that are curious, there is a delay. There's a delay on stream, 2-minute delay. So I tried to open up predictions when we're 3 minutes in. Doesn't sometimes do forget, so no apologies. I'll be sure to be on it for the next series. Regardless, Spirit does take a lead here, and we'll see if ArT can recover and bring us to game 3 again. The big moment here, the big deciding factor for Spirit was when he pushed across the map, when he broke the third base. We saw that ArT was able to clean up that army, but that was only after the third base had been broken, and again, that was just too many losses too quickly, too early on. GG. GG, well played. Now we're getting to game number 2. Jumping into game 2. And game 2 is going to be on Tokamak. Okay, one of the larger maps in the map pool. One of the larger maps. And we'll see how our players do adjust. My eyes are going to be on ArT. Let's go. Yes, Shama. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing the Platinum Heroes down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. It is ArT. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Polish Terran player. We have the red Terran representing ArT Esports. It is Spirit. We go. Welcome one also Tokamak. Tokamak is again one of the larger maps in the map pool. As a result, we often see longer and later games, but I mean, I can see Spirit going for another kind of crisp timing attack to try to knock down the third base and gain a lead early on and snowball from there. Hello. Never mind, as we're going to be opening up 2 racks here early on. Now this could be 2 racks Reaper, otherwise we could go for a bit of a delayed approach instead. My eyes are going to be on Spirit here, but for now 2 racks Reaper here from our Terran player. Probe does dip in. We'll see if he commits any harder. Oh, as he is going to misread this. He pokes in, he scouts only 1 gas. He believes it's going to be a racks expand, not 2 racks Reaper, which means we can go for an earlier bio timing. No shot. Okay. So what I was curious by here is, especially because of 1 gas geyser, if we throw down a 3rd racks and we go for an early sim timing instead. Don't make the most sense in my mind. No, never mind. Okay, Marine first into Reaper production. So delayed Reapers here, but also mass Reaper. And again, it's all hidden behind this, and ArT has no idea. Everything that ArT has seen screams economic opener. Like again, single gas, single racks. There should be a CC, right? In his mind, there is a command center. So a cheeky build here by Spirit, very cheeky. Just now going for the CC, but it is late, and we'll see what he can get done. Now, what I will say is that, you know, we still have a Stalker to work with. You know, we're still gonna have some kind of defense here. It's still gonna come down to the unit control, to the unit micro. Oh, only 2. Okay, I assumed that we were gonna be going for like an extra wave behind this, but no, only 2 Reapers. So this is going to really hit its stride in a longer and later game. With this earlier bio setup, we should be going for earlier add-ons. There we go, Reactor, we're waiting for the Tech Lab. Reapers, they do poke in. They get 1 probe so far, they get 1, they're going to be getting up to 2. Ooh, the Adept is in position. And we shouldn't get, oh, I was going to say we shouldn't get 3 probes go down. 4 probes go down, uh-oh. 5? Oh my god, barely not. 5 probe kills here across the map. Nice damage here from Spirit. And behind this, yep, there's a Tech Lab into early stim. Do we go for a 3rd racks before Starport? Okay, no. The answer is no, we're going for the Starports. We're not going for a 2 base all-in. We're going for a bit of an awkward 2-1-1. 2-on-1s are a bit of a rare sight in this matchup. Not unheard of, but quite rare. So building up an early high marine count. Now this kind of build is going to be vulnerable to 4-gate blink. But the chances of us seeing 4-gate blink, especially in current StarCraft, it's very outdated. Not really seen too often. Alright, he's so far getting up to 3 gateways. Based on what he's seen, I mean, he knows it's going to be a... Does he know? He should be somewhat aware. That was a 2-axe opener. But so far it looks like 3-gate blink into a 3rd. Yeah, speaking of, there's no 4th gateway. But the prism is on the way. Okay, I believe. And again, like, this position that Spirit has is very abusable. Which is why I said the 4-gate blink would punish this. The reason for this is because no tanks, right? Like, there are 0 tanks in the main base, 0 tanks at the natural. Because of the build itself, it doesn't leave room for tank production. So Stalker aggression would excel. For now, though, he's keeping up with the mine drop. Stalkers are being kept busy. And and Spirit, he's about to finish them. He's finishing up the upgrade. Spirit, he races back home. Here comes the main army with the War Prism as well. And ArT, he delays his 3rd base in favor of what? In favor of Warpins. In favor of more Stalkers. Let's go. Does warp in 3 at a time. But Spirit, he's ready in the main. No bunker, which is what I will say. There's no bunker in the main base, but the army's here. And thankfully does not blindly blink in. Rotates over, the boys are being pulled. It does pull in time, but oh! Prism is exposed, and it looks like the Prism will not go down. Does barely get away. Prism does pull back. ArT extra warp ins, late 3rd base for ArT, but he is expanding. So ArT forced a recall. One of mine's into the main. And one of mine's are going to be cleaned up. No major connections. Gets a Stalker. So far, Spirit, he does break out. He's breaking out. He's going for his timing. 3rd CC behind this, not going for a 2-base all-in. Those mine shots do go off. Uh-oh. Decent harass. As Spirit moves out, ArT, he misses the move out completely. Not quite in position here. Yes, Spirit, he's rotating over towards the 3rd base. ArT just now arriving, getting caught out, losing a Stalker. Losing 2. Brutal rotation. ArT just out of position here. The shield battery is going to go down. The Immortal as well. The Immortal's exposed. That should not have happened. And he's pushing into his own bases here. And this is just getting damage. This is becoming too much. It's getting out of hand. 9 probe kills. The main army gets bullied. Bullied, and the 3rd base goes down. And we spoke about it earlier. GG gets caught. That is game-ending damage. A similar story here to game 1, where you move out, you break the 3rd, and you end the game. GG, well played. Spirit, a bit of a quirkier build. So credit to Spirit here, opening up with a hidden 2-axe Reaper opener. So hidden 2-max Reaper, from there going into a 2-1-1, which again is very unorthodox. We saw that ArT tried to punish, but ArT did not do enough damage. I should emphasize that ArT put himself behind because he delayed his own third, and he delayed his third base in favor of Stalker aggression, but the Stalkers didn't get anything done. They picked off a couple of Marines. That's all they got, so it wasn't worth it. So ArT, he was falling behind as he failed to get damage, and unfortunately he missed the move out, so he was caught out of position. Right? He was caught out of position, he was caught outside of his bases, pushing into his own third base, where his shield barrier was exposed, his immortal was exposed. Usually those key units are behind the army or with the main army to have a little bit more buffer, and GG. GG, well played. Spirit, he will claim the series, and with that, we have our first 2 matches wrapping up. We have our winners match coming up next. It is going to be a best of 3 between Spirit and Geralt. Likewise, we're going to have a PvP to determine the first player eliminated from the group. It is going to be Geralt versus Pappy in that elimination match. Oh boy. But that is going to be a best of 5. The elimination match, I mean. Just as a reminder, that would be a best of 5. Until then, though, we're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll have our next matchup. Again, we'll have Spirit versus Geralt after this short break. See you soon. See you soon here for the winners match.